The Unlock system is JG BeatsLab methodology for serious musicians working with AI tools. Lean to work, human authored, AI assisted music creation. And if you'd rather have me apply it directly to your music, I master AI tracks and review them too. More on that as we go. Hello and welcome to the AI Music Revolution. I am your host, Josh Gilliland, the founder of JG BeatsLab. So 3 blog posts went up this week, and on the surface they look unrelated. One's about a graveyard of half-finished Suno generations. One's about singer-songwriters putting their own voice on an AI instrumental. And then one's about a prompt that kept turning a studio track into a live concert. But they're the same argument 3 times. The model gives you what your inputs actually said, not what you meant. And the fix is truly, it's never luck. It's a decision you make before you even touch the platform again. So let's get into it. The credit graveyard. So open your Suno library and go ahead, open it and count the number of songs that you have in it. And now count how many of those you would actually play for another musician. For most people, that ratio is brutal. 200 generations and maybe 6 that you would expose to another musician. And that gap is the regenerate and pray loop. So you have an idea, you generate, it's close but not quite right. So you change one word and you generate again. Somewhere around the 15th take, you can't remember the original idea anymore. And you're not directing at that point, you're simply pulling a lever. And so the fix is really 3 questions that you run before you generate anything in Suno. First, is the song wrong or is the recording wrong? Those are different failures. A weak melody needs a rewritten lyric, not another roll of the same dice. A good song with a buried vocal needs section editing, not a fresh generation. Second, what's the salvage value? A take with one great chorus is an asset, not a reject. Modern Suno lets you replace a verse and keep what's already working. Third, have you defined done? If you can't say in one sentence what would make you stop generating, you never will. Write you're done before you even start. Then put a number on it. Give every idea a fixed generation budget. 10 generations. And spend the first few exploring before you commit to a direction and refine it through the edits instead of just fresh rolls of the dice. Two things happen. You finish more songs because scarcity forces the decision you are avoiding. And the songs, quite frankly, they get better because the effort moves back into the lyric and the structure instead of the outputs. The real cost was never the credits. It's the hours that quietly teach you that you can't get what's in your head out of the tool. A system actually fixes that. A slot machine never will. All right, let's get into the next segment. The instrumental, not the vocal. So the second post that went up this week, and I think it's probably the most exciting workflow available to a singer-songwriter right now. Write the song, build the instrumental in Suno until the arrangement is what you'd have hired a band to play. Then sing it yourself into whatever microphone you own and mix the 2 together. The barrier was never the voice. Most of the emails I get, they're from people who can already sing and have been writing on an acoustic guitar for 20, 30 years. But what they never had was a bass player, a drummer, a budget to spend on studio time. The instrumental was the wall, and there's a second unlock underneath that one. You can now audition an arrangement in an afternoon. Hear what strings or pedal steel would actually do to your song. A decision that used to require paying for the answer first, now it doesn't. I want to be accurate about what Suno's Voices feature does, because it's close to this, but it's not the same thing. Upload a sample, verify it's you, and Suno generates songs sung in your timbre. That's a generated performance wearing your voice. It's not you singing, and that's the difference that I'm talking about in this whole thing here. The crack you didn't intend and decided to keep. The breath before the line that matters. A model trained on your timbre can't reproduce what you meant. It can only reproduce what you sound like. And here's where it falls apart for almost everyone who tries it. You export the instrumental, record your vocal at home, line them up, and it sounds pasted on. That's not your singing. A Suno export is already mixed and mastered on the assumption nothing else is coming in. The mid-range is full and the file is filled with limited headroom left, and your voice needs both of those things to operate. So the order of operations matters here. Lock the instrumental first, completely, before you record anything. Record dry, no reverb or compression baked into the file. Record the whole take in one continuous pass, not patched together because every splice is a decision someone else has to reconstruct later. And track in headphones, or the bleed causes phase problems no mix can really undo. So get those 4 things right, and a mix engineer can actually finish the record. That's exactly what the vocal mix does. Ties your voice into the track and masters it for release. And right now, it's at a founding rate of $199. Find out more at jgbeatslab.com. Okay, segment 3. The crowd that won't leave. Okay, so this one is a specific bug that I continue to run into, and it took longer to solve than it should have. So building a track that needed to feel like a controlled studio recording, and Suno kept opening up like a concert bootleg. There was crowd noise, there was room wash, and an audience bed that was out there singing before the first guitar even hit. The cause wasn't the platform, it was the prompt, and not in the way that you would guess. The style prompt used producer language, powerful live band energy, crowd-ready hook, stadium-sized drums. So to a human producer, stadium size means scale. The model does not infer that. It pattern matches the words and crowd, stadium, live band, the whole track from a live performance frame, audience included. The obvious fix, banning the crowd with negatives. Help sometimes, but not reliable. The audience noise would disappear and the track would still feel roomy and distant because banning the audience didn't change the frame the model was actually building from. The energy leaked through the side door. So what actually worked was replacing the job itself. Instead of just cutting the trigger words, the prompt got rebuilt around studio context. Dry, close vocals. Tight drum kit in a controlled room. Guitars entering cleanly at bar 1. Wide chorus created by layered guitars and harmonies instead of crowd energy. That last line did most of the work because it gave the make this feel huge job somewhere else to go. The principle generalizes past crowd noise entirely. Don't just remove a bad behavior, replace it with a function it was serving or the model finds a backdoor and does it anyway. So there you go. 3 posts, one discipline underneath all of them. A filter instead of a slot machine. A locked order of operation instead of a stitched together vocal. A replaced function instead of a banned word. None of this is luck. All of it is decisions made before you hit generate. All right, 2 more things before I let you go. If you're a Red Lab library member, there's something else worth your time this week. It has nothing to do with Suno prompts. A few weeks ago, my distributor pulled over 200 of my own releases with almost no explanation. I wrote the whole thing up, what triggered it, what I think actually happened, and what the rebuild looked like in a 4-part series on the Red Lab log. It's not a tidy story. If you're not a library member yet, that series alone is worth the $97 to become a member. In this week, I opened enrollment for the AI Music Producer Bootcamp. 2 weeks, 5 stages, ideate through release. And you're not doing it alone. I'm answering your questions the whole way through. New cohorts start every 2 weeks. So pick whatever date works for you. First one kicks off August 16th. It's $297 or $197 if you enroll before September 1st. The complete system behind everything in today's episode, the evaluation checklist, the vocal recording workflow, the full prompt framework, it's all in the Red Lab library. 7 books, the Red Lab protocol research, the blueprints, and Fader, your AI studio manager. $97, one payment at jgbeatslab.com. Full posts are linked in the show notes. That's it for today. Stop gambling. Start directing. Thanks for listening, and I'll chat with you next week. Every Thursday morning, I send out a newsletter, 1 email a week, what I'm working on in the studio, the research running in the lab. Sign up at jgbeatlab.com/newsletter. And if you want a track reviewed or mastered directly, that's in the show notes below. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next Friday.